Today we're going to, let me introduce you first to who we brought on to help me. Lexie.
Hey.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Dodger Blue.
Yes, I'm going to the game after.
Nice. Hey, since Muncie's had his glasses, home runs, baby. He just needed to be able to see. He couldn't see. Yeah, now he looks good. Now he even looks cuter and hotter because he's like nerdy, like that nerdy ball player.
Nerds are in. Like before, nerds was like nobody wanted to be a nerd.
No, we wanted a gangster. But do you think it's because we're older and we're more mature and we want security and we want that longevity of like, we want to be able, we're going to eat and pay our car payment. And now we want a nerd.
I want a thug in glasses.
You can't.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you know what, though? I do know some hardcore G's have glasses, so you're right. I mean, they're probably all married, but you're right. You're right. Hi, Solomon.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. You guys are on this side of the table now, huh?
Well, what did we call this? What I'm going to try to do. I've done it, and we haven't gone back to it, and I really like it. But what did you just call it?
The Talk to Me Thursdays.
Talk to me Thursday. No, what was
wait, what's today?
I said Tea Thursday.
Oh, that is what I said.
Tell me Thursday.
Oh, tell me Thursday.
Tell me Thursday.
Something.
Yeah.
So we're just going to talk about some hot topics that are, Topic Thursdays.
We'll come back to this.
Work in progress.
Yeah. Things that are like, if you're on TikTok, Instagram, and maybe on Channel 5 News that, the old folks be watching. My cousin Jimmy, my mom, all of them, they get mad at me. Or maybe not. Maybe they won't. But first thing I want to start with is because it's kind of funny and not a bad note, and it's going to lead into like a crazy one, is the Bill Belichick. Like I Googled how old he was.
74?
73. So, and we all know who he is. He's the Patriots coach. Well,
Former.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. He was a former coach, but what I was going to say is he was there when Brady was there.
Yes.
So that's how a lot of people, like, if you don't really watch football, you'll, Tom Brady, him together, right? Now who does he coach for now? He's 73. He has this girlfriend that's what? 22?
Yeah, North Carolina Tar Heels.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to look it up.
Yeah. So he has this girlfriend that's 22, 24. She says 24. The world is saying 22.
And she's not a student there, right?
No. But that's the thing is she's not a student. She's not a paid employee. She has no participation or anything in the school. But she's labeling herself and her name attached to him. So she tells everybody she's 24, but there's things saying that she's lying about her age, that she's only 22. So when I heard it, I was like, wow, like that's crazy. This old man is like, having fun with this young girl. And for a split second, I kind of felt bad for her. And I started asking people. And if you ask the guys, all the guys are like, right on, that's awesome.
Right.
Okay. And so I think I was looking at it from like a young woman's point of view, but women today at 22 are not 22. They are like 30. And she knows what she's doing and she's put herself in this position.
Yeah, gross.
So we think it's gross, right? Because he's 73 or 70, whatever, and old and wrinkly and, leave it up to your imagination. He's getting this hot.
Yeah, win for him, sucks for her.
Well, obviously it doesn't if she's like into that, I guess.
She's not into it. It's a financial thing, but she could also find somebody in their 40s, probably. But not Bill Belichick money, but she could.
Well, maybe she's thinking he's going to pretty soon.
Or maybe she's just thinking, you know what, I'll do this for a while it's cool and make some money and have some fun and travel. And then when I get tired, I'll leave him.
But she's not going to walk away with money.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe it's you get what you can while
you're there.
Get it.
Maybe you're right. But if I was his kids, I would be really leery. Like, what if they do run off and get married and she wants his money?
I'd be pissed if Paul came home with a young, like say my mom's out of the picture.
Yeah.
And he had a girlfriend that was my age or younger than me. I'm fighting her, first of all. Like, there's no way. Absolutely not.
Lexie's like, get the hell out. Like, that's what I'm saying. What do you do as his kids? Because his money is his money. He's earned his money. He's worked his ass off. That's his money. He can do whatever he wants to an extent. Because you get to an extent where you're this age, he's not fully seeing the whole picture. He just sees this young, hot girl that wants him. They have to save money for him to. What if he lives till he's 90? They need somebody.
He's not going to run out of money. Or this is the way I look at it.
How do you know?
You know how much money he has?
Well, what I'm saying is, what if she takes it? What if they get married and then she
but that's
divorces
why they
him and
have
takes it?
they have like
They probably have a
prenups, they have all this
prenup,
stuff.
yeah.
Or
Do you think he's going to make her sign a prenup the way he's
Yes.
acting with her?
Yes.
No, I think she.
Yeah.
she could also maybe this is like best case scenario for her because I'm just saying. If I was 24 and there was an old man that old, I'm gonna hope for a sugar daddy that wants no sugar or can't get sugar, and maybe
He wants sugar.
but maybe he can't. I'm hoping hope for her.
There's
that's
pills
it.
for sugar.
And I would think the only reason he would go with you is for the sugar.
Yes, there's pills if he can't get sugar. Take sugar, be sugar, have sugar, whatever it is.
Well, I hope it's.
She's hoping he doesn't want sugar.
Yeah, or put it off as long as you can.
No way.
Or you just deal with it.
That's
What's
our
the
new.
problem?
That is our new name, by the way, for any of that kind of context that we
Sugar?
talk about is sugar.
So me and the girls, we always joke around about us finding we need a diabetic daddy, like a sugar daddy that wants no sugar. So we want a diabetic daddy.
Oh,
And that's the joke between me and all the girls.
yeah.
So hopefully for her, he's diabetic.
Diabetic daddy. And so every guy that I've asked, because I'm trying to be realistic and from a mom's point of view, oh my God, this poor girl. And they're like, no. She knows exactly what she's doing.
does.
Okay. So and I hope she doesn't take his money. And I hope that it all comes out that he's just having fun and he actually knows what he's doing. And maybe he says, hey, be my girlfriend for a few years while I can give you some sugar and I'll pay you X amount of money and then just be gone. Right?
No, he knows what he's doing. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this because I had this older man that I knew, and this is not this was not me. Okay, this was just a conversation I had. This has nothing to do with me personally. But he was older and he was very well off financially, and he would talk about how if right now he wanted an actual relationship. Mm-hmm. And so the younger girls, because he was a little bit older, he's I need somebody in their 30s or forward. He's yes, the 20-year-olds, he's those are the girls you just keep on payroll. It's nice when I'm lonely in town type of things. And he's but now that I'm slowing down, I'm a little bit older, now I have payroll girls and I have my actual girls. So
the girls he wants an actual conversation with?
Yes. So maybe she's just a payroll girl and that's okay.
Well, they did an interview on ABC or NBC or something like that, and she just took it over. She just took the. So that was the big thing that came out about it, that she's controlling him now, that she's in charge of everything. So if I was if I was his kids, I'd be my dad don't even have money, and I'm psycho over my dad. Imagine if my dad had millions of money. I would be like you, we're fighting on spot, Tom and Jerry. No tomorrow, as soon as I see you, I'd be I'm taking my dad's money. You are not taking any of his money. I don't know, poor thing. Okay, so remember that she's, what did we say, 22, 24? We'll just say that, yeah. The other thing that's in the news, and it's on trial right now, is P. Diddy. Mm. How old was she when she got with him? And what is, I'm just going to ask you the questions.
Okay.
You're talking about Cassie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say her name eventually, yeah.
Okay.
So what was her age, when it started? And what is the difference? Just because...
abuse.
So, but when she first started, she was I think she met him when she was 18 or something like that, or 22, or got with them when she was 22, right? So she's at that age too. Obviously, she got with them because of the fame and all that stuff, right? He's this rapper.
Well, the promises of her career and all these things.
So everyone's oh, well, she knew what she was getting into. But my thing is, we don't have so. Bill Belichick was very prominent man as far as a football coach. You never heard about him abusing women or getting drunk or partying or anything like this, right? Now he's this older guy at 73. Even if he hit her once, I'm sure she's probably swinging back, right? I would hope.
Could it be?
I know. I hope you're
First
swinging
of all,
back.
that's trauma that we have, that we joke about that. That's dark humor.
Yeah. Well, if you're 73 and you're swinging on me, I'm kicking you in your bad knee. You're going to fall. There's no way you're that 73 that you're that fit that you're going to outrun me.
Tell that to Tom. What do you
Well,
think?
Tom's not 73.
No, but when he gets to 73, he would definitely feel differently.
So when Cassie got with P. Diddy, she wasn't, I don't think, mentally prepared for anything that was going to come.
I think the difference between this girl and Cassie is unless Bill Belichick is promising her hey, I'm going to give you this career, all these things, it looks like she's just in it for just beneficial, like money, vacation to be taken care of. Whereas with Diddy and Cassie, like she wants a career, she wants like all these things, like so he has leverage on her. This guy doesn't have leverage. It's just an old man with a young girl
And a whole lot of money.
and a whole lot of money. Yes.
So do you think that like people are saying like as soon as he started to hit her or abuse her, she should have left? But I don't think it's that easy. I don't think that you can leave as easy as people think it is.
Right.
Like I know when I was in that relationship when I was young, I actually thought that meant he loved me, like because of my childhood and how I grew up, So I thought, oh, you hit me, you love me, yay! That's I didn't realize until years later that was not healthy on my part and definitely not healthy on his part.
Mm-hmm.
So people were like, oh, she should have left the first time. Well, then it becomes where you're just now stuck because they were saying that anytime she did leave and try to date somebody else, he would follow her. He would show up. Did you see the video, which we're not going to show here, where he beat her?
Yeah, when she was trying to leave in the hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was like after she said like he like would have all these other men and pay them like to do like all these sexual things and like have like their own little thing. And when he was in the shower, she tried to run away. Like that was her like out, and he still caught her.
Okay, so let's do that. Then I'm going to go back to what you just said. Like, so you came out in a towel in the hallway and just hit her, knowing cameras are on. That's how much you thought you were invincible. That's how much you thought or knew nobody was going to do anything to you.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like he offed his wife, the one that died of like.
Oh, Kim Porter?
Yeah, that died of pneumonia or COVID or whatever they said she died of. I'm like, you got rid of her. You did her. Because you came out in a towel, did all that, and there was no nothing. You weren't afraid. You weren't worried about anything. You weren't worried that security was going to come up and knock on your door and say, hey, we called the cops, or anybody was going to call the cops. And I think she knew that there was nothing she can do, that she was stuck there. And the videos that everybody knows about now with all these, how do you as a man, Solomon, how do you as a man want to see that or partake in it or even know about that your girl like was with all these other guys doing all these other things?
Oh, I mean, that's just
doing the sugar thing.
Well, that's just a sexual perversion. And I think
that's not like a normal thing.
Well, I think everybody has a level of theirs, right? And most people's are low, but there are people who's just very high. And if you think about it, it's homosexuality, it's group sex, right? And it's a little BDSM. So
what is little BDSM?
A little BDSM.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll Google that later.
So my
BDSM is like where you like, it's like you like to be dominated, like and like beaten on, like it's like a whole thing.
Oh no, I don't even like to be hit or touched. You're not doing that during sugar moments.
Well, my point is that these are all elements of that perversion.
Oh, got it.
So basically, somebody could look at this and go, well, this is perfectly normal because it's just a mixture of these things. Now, of course, when it gets to the point where somebody doesn't want to participate, that's when it becomes a problem.
And she definitely didn't want to participate.
How do you know?
I think maybe she did at first, not knowing how deep it was going to go. Like, obviously, the first time, I'm sure it was, like, not that bad.
Do you think the first time was like, let me do this to make him happy?
To make him happy, so he knows, like, I'm committed. She was promised record deals. She was promised X, Y, and Z. And I'm sure he eased her into it. I'm sure, like, the first one wasn't, like...
He groomed her?
Yeah. And then, like, it was, like, over time. And the more she became attached, like, your whole brain chemistry starts to change. Then he's like, now we can really get into this. And then, like, by then you're so far into it. Like,
I always say, because of the monster under my bed when I was 8, that the silver lining in that is it's always made me self-aware and not to put myself in situations. And I don't, like, if some guy ever asked, I've had one guy once, can't say his name, ask me to do sugar with another person and him. And I was like, first I was like, oh, wow, you think I'm that kind of girl? Like, oh my God. Like, I was a little like, was definitely mortified, but there was a part of me I was like, oh, you think I'm that hot? Like, because anytime I've ever heard about it, it's always these like stripper girls that do it, right? All these hot girls. But I was like, yeah, I'll never talk to you ever again. Like, because I already knew because of my thing when I was young, like not to. And that's the silver lining is that's always made me self-aware. Maybe somebody like her or other girls that are don't really understand what they're getting into. And then one time they're in it, it's too far deep in.
Yeah, definitely.
I can only sugar one guy. I couldn't even imagine.
No,
more than
I
that.
would get offended. Like to me, think like if you care about me and everything, like you would never want to share me with somebody else. So the fact that you are willing to do that, like you hate me. You don't even like me. Because if I care about you, like I'm not sharing you with nobody. Like ever, like no.
But some people could say like, oh, you got to get over that. Like, lighten up. You're too possessive or too jealous, or you can't like
being possessive or jealous. It's just.
Oh, I make it very clear. Like I'm not sharing anybody, and you could call it what you want. And if you feel you need to dip here, here, and here, by all means, go. Just leave me alone.
Exactly.
I'm not like absolutely not. So it's just crazy because you look at, they were kind of the same age when they're getting into all this craziness.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder like I don't think Cassie and P. are the same age, right?
No, he's like probably at least 10 years older than her.
So you wouldn't, so when I was, and when you were, I'm hoping, 21, 22, 23, we were looking at guys within our age group. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
not really.
right. I never was like, because I was the type of girl like, oh my God, you're 30? You're old. I was literally that girl. So I was looking at guys that were like, so if I was 21, that were like 19 to 23.
No, I was looking at guys my age, like, get away from me, little kid.
Yeah. And that's what you hear
Not
from
me.
a lot of girls these days. They're saying they're looking for older guys.
Okay, but if you're 22, you're not looking for a 73-year-old man.
No,
Not
at 22,
73.
like 30 was really old when I was 22. I was like, what? And now looking back, I was like, well, I was like 19. And then they were like 28, 29. I was like, that was a problem actually.
So if I
now
was
looking back.
40, I don't think I would have wanted to date I personally would not want to date a guy that's, if I was 40, 50. I think the oldest guy I've ever dated was 4 years older than me. I'm not an older guy kind of. I'm more of like, I guess a younger guy because Javier was 2 years younger than me.
Is young.
Well, now at 51, I'd probably date somebody who's like 40, 45.
What if
But
they were
I'm not
38,
dating
but,
somebody
like,
who's
super-
60 and I'm 51.
No.
No.
57.
No. I don't even want to date anyone over 53, 54.
You know, once you hit your 50s, it doesn't really
Yes, it
matter.
kind of-
You know it does because what matters is, are they going to keep up with me? Are they going to be as active?
So if you came across a guy, say 57, 58, let's say, right?
Okay.
Good shape, runs every day.
Oh,
all
yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff. What's your problem?
Yeah, but that doesn't really happen. And the
just
good ones like that, because there's a lot of good ones like that,
Yeah.
they're already married. So I'm saying single. Make sure we say single. Because
Right.
I have there's the eyelash girl. I went to get my eyebrows done today. The eyelash girl was there and she was single for a few months. And so I said, hey, are you still single? She's like, nope. Went back to baby daddy. I was like, what? She said after 7 months of dating, and she's cute.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, these guys are nothing. These guys are just crap out here. She goes, I was mad at the little things. He didn't take out the dishes. He didn't clean up. He didn't do that. She goes, but he's home with me. So what? He didn't buy me flowers, on my birthday. Like she goes, I will.
So sad.
So now he does. Now he realized too while he was gone
okay.
for 7 months, right? So now she came home the other day and he had dishes all done, stuff like that. So they probably both needed the break. But her point was, all the good ones are married. Don't leave what you already have if it's really not that bad. So yeah, I might run into a guy who's doing something, but more than likely he's married. When I think of me at 51, I don't think of me at 51. I still feel like I'm in my 40s, my 30s. I'm still going.
Yeah.
So I'm not dating some viejo who's like, hey, I'm
Right.
60. Like, no.
Well, then in that case, you wouldn't date a man who was your age and just looked and acted old.
Well, I've never dated somebody over 4 years older than me.
That's crazy.
I dated somebody who was 6 years younger. Javier was 2 years younger. I've dated guys, my ex-fiance is 4 years older. Seth's dad's 4 years older. Like,
It's crazy because I usually have like a 6 to 10 year range. And like I've done a couple like where it was like maybe 2 or 3 years, but it was very short lived. Like, you're too immature. And then like I tried like the younger and then I just feel like awkward. I'm just like,
well, I would never date somebody like under 40 because my daughter's 34, going to be 35. So I'll never date somebody under 40. And it's even hard to 41, 42. I'm like, I'll think about it, But I just don't have no idea. Like I couldn't date. Oh, where'd you take them off? 73-year-old Bill. Like no Bill. Sorry. Like we could hang out and have
risk
lunch.
versus reward.
But we're
even
not-
for that, risk versus reward. Okay, you're 51.
He's
Like,
73.
Okay,
He
yeah.
has money. We could go to dinner, but don't touch me. Like, we're not
You're
getting
in the
sugar.
diabetic daddy club.
Yes, we're not getting
Nice.
sugar. There's no sugar happening. But that's what I'm saying. When I was Cassie's age or this girl's age, but also I think about where my lifestyle was at that point. Gangstas. So there was I didn't want no old ass gangsta.
Well,
Yesterday was Javier's birthday and my sister and I were texting. I said, I wonder what he would be like an old man. And she goes, I wonder if they would, because her baby daddy Joseph also passed. She goes, I wonder if they would have like arthritis and all this. So that's my thing with with Cassie going on and the trials going on. It's so sad. And to watch that video of her just getting,
yeah.
it's, I know he has to feel like now, like, oh crap, everything I thought I was getting away with, I'm not going to, even if you get
He
away
doesn't
with it.
feel bad.
I don't know if he feels bad, but
No,
you're
he
not
doesn't.
going to come out and be all like, I got money and I'm going to be P. Diddy all over again.
Yeah. No, he absolutely doesn't feel bad. I think he just regrets like now he's caught.
And do you think all his friends stay his friends, even if he gets out, if he's found innocent and comes home?
I think there's always going to be a few, which is weird, but I think that's like either they're afraid of him or like, what can I get to benefit? How does this benefit me? I think when you get to a certain level of like status, a lot of your relationships are not genuine.
Yeah.
So it's more just like, what can I get? What benefits me now? And
Yeah.
that's all the relationships are based off of.
Okay. Well, I guess so much for the young girls and the old men. Hey, if the Bill Belichick thing and her name is Jordan Hudson, I mean, if Jordan gets what she can get and she lives a fun life and gets her money.
What would you do if, like, say, fast forward, Seth's 50, 60 years old and he comes home with this 20-something-year-old?
If we had his finances, like if he had money like that and we had his finances in order where she couldn't touch anything, ooh, do your thing, baby. Like get yours, like have all the sugar and fun you want. Like, and he's like, I think about that because guys are guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the more guys I talked to about this, I was shocked at everybody was like, woohoo, Bill. Like almost like we wish we could be there at that, doing that. Like,
Yeah.
And she has to be, which I hope her or her parents or somebody, they are making sure she's safe in every angle, right? That she's not just, because this is an age where you're finishing college, you're looking for your career. What happens in 2 or 3 years or what happens in 6 months when it's over and done with and you got to start over? People are going to take you seriously. You have to go back to college because she was in college. And I think she's out now. She's no longer cheering for her college. So then what do you do? Everyone's going to know you as the little hussy that was with Bill. And is anyone going to take you seriously?
Well, maybe not.
What do you mean?
Because people are also going to know her as the woman who was all over the news. I mean, before this, she probably wasn't even known.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
None
So-
at all. She went to some.
So, like you said, I mean, it only takes 15 minutes of fame to
Look at the hot
launch
Twitter.
that into something else.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, she looks at this like she just dated one of the richest guys. And if she ends it well, he might even invest in something else that she wants to do.
And
And-
honestly, I hope so.
Oh,
And
I was going
what?
to say, and because you were saying like, oh, she's going to be known as the hussy that was with
Yeah.
Bill. And I said, or other old men are going to look at her and be like, she likes older men. And then
Yeah.
she's still going to be okay. So like she could still
But
win.
you can't be okay with getting sugar from that.
Why
I'm not
not?
saying
Why
I'm okay with
not?
it. I'm saying like it could work out that way for her. And maybe she goes a little younger. Maybe she does 60.
Women are as judgmental as men are.
I think women are more judgmental.
Okay,
I think we're just as visual.
okay, but
Yes.
look, you have porn stars who've made sugar a business, right? So they've taken all of the emotion out of it. So you mean to
I
tell
have
me
emotion.
you mean to tell me a woman like this can't date an older guy when she's getting the clear benefit of money, status?
But she's not completely happy.
Well, what I'm
do you
saying
know?
is,
She's not.
well, she may be
Maybe
happy
not
for
happy
now.
when she has to look at it.
Yeah.
but
That's
she's
what I'm
happy
saying.
after.
Yeah, she may
No.
be happy for now. I mean, but like I said, if she turns it into a business, then it's not a big deal.
And maybe this will start her career to
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it is what it is. I'm just glad we more than likely it won't be a. Now we might have to worry about her doing elderly
Wait.
abuse on him.
Actually, because it turns into, Robert De Niro was like 70 something and he just had a baby that's under 1 year old and his girlfriend is in her 20s.
Yeah. Well, we know that was purely.
That's purely money. But
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. Like maybe she.
Hey, and good for these
Ends up
guys.
having a
But the
little
sad part
baby
about
Bill.
that, but the sad part is that kid is not going to have a father.
No, that's sad.
So you did it for money and, I'm going to have money. But what about that kid that wants to know who their dad was? Now they're going to see their dad on all these movies that he's done, but they're never going to know who he is.
Yeah.
And by the time the kid's 10 and can actually realize who the dad is, the dad's like 83 and probably not all there. And like the kid's not going to have this dad that the older siblings got to have. So that's selfish. I feel like. Well, hopefully her situation ends up a lot better than Cassie's does. And hopefully Diddy gets found guilty and goes away for a long, long time. That's just my personal opinion. You just shouldn't do what he did. And he did and thought he was getting away with it. And it's sad that I feel like the people around him that were part of it should also be found guilty. I mean, should also be held accountable. They should also get arrested. Like you knew it was going on and you participated and you helped it and you just sat there and did nothing. Yeah. That's why I say you don't want me to be like the president or anything because I'll be like, off with their heads.
Well, I think as president, you can't do that.
In this world, we could.
I don't know.
As dictator, yeah, you probably could.
I swear that I always say that Clinton has a list. And if you look at that list, all those people are, they've perished. There's no longer here. So
Really?
Hillary? Yes. You want me to find that list?
Yes, I do.
I will find it. She is one evil woman. Okay. So next, on to women. I don't know if a lot of people have heard about this. There's a documentary. It's either on Hulu or Peacock. The Karen Reed story. You didn't know about this till I told you about it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And Karen Reed is in, what state was it in? It was in Massachusetts.
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 Mm-hmm.
Her and her cop boyfriend. He was a handsome guy too. Can you find a picture, Solomon?
Yeah.
They went out drinking with his other cop friends and their blood count was ridiculous. Like they were just all belligerently drunk. Well, he ends up dead, the boyfriend. So they are at the bar. They're all drinking, mainly a lot of couples. I didn't know though. So it must have came out in the second
trial,
not the first trial.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we'll get back to what I was saying by that. So they're all at the bar drinking and then they're all going to go to somebody's house.
Another cop, like his friends.
And it was snowing or had been snowing because there's like, I don't know how many feet of snow. And what I don't understand though is he gets out of the car to go in the house.
Yes.
And she waits in the car.
Allegedly, because there's a story to this on how he ended up outside.
So allegedly,
that's what they were in an argument and somehow she backed in and hit him with the car and then left him outside to die. But the other theory is it was that he was, is that he was outside because the cop friend that he was at their house and the cop's son, they got into a fist fight, like a whole brawl, and that they left him outside to die. And like,
where was she then?
Supposedly she was like asleep on the couch and she woke up like, where is he? He never came inside.
At the party?
At the party.
Oh.
So, okay. So did that come out in the second trial?
Yes.
So let me catch everybody up. She gets arrested for his murder, goes to trial and is found, it's a hung jury.
Yeah.
So now they're in trial number 2. The first trial, she pulls up, he jumps out. This is the way the story goes, allegedly. He jumps out, goes into the house and doesn't come out. She's calling him and he's not answering. So she leaves, which I don't understand why you leave without him. Or why I probably would have barged in the house and got my man. So she's calling him, he doesn't answer. So now she drives back to his house because that's where she was staying for the night. And she's calling him and leaving him these crazy voice messages. She falls asleep for a few hours, wakes up, he's not home. She goes back to the house and that's when they find him in the snow dead.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all the first trial. And so she gets arrested, but there's a Google search on one of the cops' friends. I thought it was on the wife of one of the cops. How long before you die in the cold?
Yes.
Yes. So that's why they're saying that they have proof that it was them that killed him, not her.
Okay.
So what was going on in trial 2?
The other theory to that is that so they found text messages between the girl, Karen
Reed,
and the cop friend.
The ATF agent.
Yes. And like they had like this little thing going on and then that she ended it. and like was ignoring him. And then when they all went to the bar, she was like ignoring him and all this stuff. And then he got upset. So then when they went to the after party, like that somehow like there was a fight that happened between all of them at the ATF agent, his son, and the husband. And like all of the medical examiners said like his wounds and everything is consistent
Brian
with getting
Higgins.
into a fight and not from being hit by a car.
See,
And he had like even had like scratches like on his knuckles, like if you're hitting somebody.
but why would she not say that she was there inside? So she's part of it too then.
Maybe.
So the documentary I watched, because she's recorded it from day one, from trial one, she's adamant that she pulled up, he got out, she didn't go in, she left. She kept calling him the next morning. Well, not even the next morning, it's a few hours later. She goes back, finds him dead in the snow.
Which is crazy because if we get home and we're arguing and you get out of the car and I go inside and I'm calling you like come inside, at some point I'm going to go outside and be like, come inside, dummy, it's snowing.
So she gets to the friend's house. He jumps out to go in the house to see if they're all there to party and never comes out. You don't go look for him?
Yeah, it's weird.
For me, I'm like, I don't care how drunk you are. You're more irate and want to fight more with him.
Yeah.
So you go chase him down.
Yes.
Unless it was some big apartment complex and it was 40 rooms.
It was a house.
It was a house.
It was
Okay.
like, these are like ATF agents and cops and sergeants. The house is a really nice house.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can find it. It's all snow. So I'm thinking, how did you not see him go in the house? So I don't think she's fully innocent, but I don't think
she was obviously a cheater.
I don't think she. Well, I don't know if that makes her guilty.
Well, some kind of.
I think she's guilty. She has some participation in this some way. I don't think she's the one that actually killed him. I don't even think that she's killed him to the point where there's manslaughter. I don't think she had anything to do with physically harming him.
Okay.
But I think at some point you just let him go and you didn't go after him. You went home and then you come back and there he's lying dead. Like if they all did get in a fight and there was these flirty text messages, right, between you and Brian Higgins, which is the FT agent, you have to know something.
Yeah.
And is that guy going to kill for you if nothing was really happening?
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Like, I don't think that you would. I don't think you would. I don't think that you would go kill some guy just because.
Maybe if something was happening and they ended it, and obviously he's still really upset.
That's just crazy. Like, or maybe they thought they were going to get away with it. Maybe he thought, I'm trying to find the house with the snow and that for some reason it's not coming up in Google Images. I thought you'd find it so you could see so people could have a better view of what it looks like. I don't know. So now she's in the second trial and it's all these cops against her. She's all by herself. So at some point, Brian Higgins kills for you. You don't think at some point he would try to like talk to her, get to her, like. Now, is he the cop that talked about the nudes?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. So
Was it him or another cop?
it was a bunch of cops. So in the investigation, because I think it's his brother that's also a cop as well, and he was originally like putting himself in the investigation, and then they told him that he couldn't because it was a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And then they found that he was talking to like all his cop buddies, like, oh, when I was going through her phone, I didn't even find any nudes. He was like talking all this crap about her, calling her all these names, and somebody told on him, and then he was put on administrative leave with no pay. And then he made like a public statement saying like, I'm really sorry, but my comments had no effect on like how I would have handled this investigation. Like, yeah, right.
So let me ask you a question because I just read one of the texts. They're saying, you're hot. And then they respond, are you serious or messing with me? No, I'm serious. Feeling is mutual. Is that bad? How long have you thought? If you're dating some guy and one of his friends texts you that, what would you do?
I'm handing my phone over and be like, check your friend.
Would you really?
Absolutely.
Even if you might lose him or them friendship be over?
Why would I lose him like that? If anything, that should show you like you can trust me.
I agree. I'm just asking.
And if like that's not your friend, clearly that's not your friend. So I would definitely be like, you need to check your friend.
You wouldn't engage? What if his fan was really hot, like Dave Beckham?
No, because you know what? I know, and I know how I know, and this is going to sound really bad. This is how I know I'm not going to engage. I have shown up when I was like, oh my God, I'm with my man. And then we meet his friends, and I looked around, I was like, oh, I got the ugly friend. Like, and like, it's happened, and that's okay. That's my baby.
Life's not fair, is it?
And I just had
I
to sit there like, okay, like, you know,
I'm just gonna take it.
well, that's my baby now. So like, oh well. But yeah, you notice like, oh, I got the ugly friend. Okay.
So what if the hot guy would have texted you later?
Kind of was in that situation. Remember?
Oh, I remember this story. That's right.
He was the kind of hot that's like, even you said like, he's gonna ruin your life. I said, I know.
Yes, he is gonna ruin your life. I remember.
He would have.
Yeah.
So I stayed far away from that one. And then I was like, come here, my little ugly baby. And I held on to him for as long as I could. And then whatever.
But that is so true. We know when we meet guys, like there's guys that are like, stay away from me. Just leave me alone.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Yeah. So I didn't know about these until you told me about these text messages. So this is all coming out in trial number 2. That is crazy. So it's her against all these guys.
She is definitely going to be found guilty, but I don't think she's guilty.
Why do you think she'll be found guilty even though they have, so the evidence, when they went and gathered all the evidence, they didn't put it in its own separate baggies and Ziploc it and label it.
Right.
They just threw everything was contaminated. Like they don't really have any solid proof that she did anything to him.
I just think when the odds are stacked against you, like not only does she have like, it's all these cops, so obviously they're going to protect each other.
And the judge is on their side.
And the judge. And then now the FBI is getting involved. So it's one thing if it was just like Boston PD or like whatever, but now like you have the FBI getting involved. Like I just feel like at this point,
hope there's a good, honest person that looks at it and literally says, I don't care that she's who she is. I don't care that they're cops. I just want to know the truth about the murder. I want to know how this poor man died, because I feel like this man is also getting left out. Like,
right.
It's all about Karen Reed, and now Brian Higgins and his sexy text messaging. Like, I wouldn't even know what I would do if somebody sent me a text like that and his friend's right next to me. I'd be like, oh, like, are you guys trying to trap me?
That, you know what? I would think the same thing. Like, this is a trap.
Yes.
And I'm going to pass.
Yes.
I would actually, honestly, probably screenshot it to you and be like, oh, send
What
it in
do
the
I do?
chat.
Yeah.
So,
well, I really, really hope that I don't think she's guilty as far as killing him. She may be guilty as far as all the games that are played or whatever, but I hope she's not found guilty. But I guess it's going on trial right now. It's like an 8-week trial. I think they're in like week 6 or something like that. And if you watch it, if you go on there, there's thousands of people out front of the courthouse with like free Karen Reed. I'm like, oh, these people really are like diehards. So I just watch every Friday, go in there and I update, like, get all the updates of what's going on. Because I don't have time to sit there and watch the court all day long.
yeah.
I'm like, ah. So our next one, the Menendez brothers.
Oh.
Do you think they should have got
To be let out?
Yeah.
Yes. Let them out. Let them free. They serve their time.
Do you think that it's true that their father did what they said he did?
Yes.
So, and I agree with all of it. But here, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think that they are going to be let out and they got a resentencing and all that because their case was so popular?
I think because it was like such a huge pop culture thing. I think like people have like this weird twisted like look on true crime. And I think the fact that they're good looking, like as they were younger and even as they've aged, I think that like has something like people get away with more. Good looking people, I mean, get away with more. So yeah. And it's just like, I think there's just they have such a huge following. And
so what happens to all the girls though, and I'm going to just say women, not even men, whose dads molested them, uncles raped them, and they killed them? Or the women that are in jail for killing, let's say their boyfriends or their husbands for touching their daughters. Like, should all those people also get a resentencing?
Well, see, I think that if they don't get out, that's going to be the only reason why, because then it's going to open up like this huge can of worms and everyone's going to use that as a defense, rightfully so.
Yes. Because some people, I know I'm not God and Lord forgive me, but like, because we are not God, because we are not Jesus, we do have emotions. We live in the flesh. Some people don't deserve to be here.
No. So like so as the Menendez brothers case was going on, there's a UFC fighter, Cain Velasquez,
Yes.
who is in jail for either murdering or attempted murder to
I
someone.
think it's attempted murder.
Yeah, that molested, like it was his niece or something.
No, wasn't it his daughter? I'm gonna go keep talking.
Okay, well, either way. And he's in jail right now, and everyone's saying like he's a hero, like hands down hero. So he should definitely be free. So if the Menendez brothers get to be released, everyone like started like this whole thing like free Cain and like all the stuff.
Yes.
And so then it's gonna have to be every case, like that's just gonna be the standard. And then you have to worry about like people taking like stuff into their own.
Well, I was gonna say, so that's what is it called when it's called
a vigilante?
Yes, when it's all of a sudden the world just starts. No, there's a word for it when you become. It is vigilante, but there's another word too where they just take laws into their own hands and they just start killing people. But
Rebel. I don't know.
some people, again, don't need to be here. Like, and for me, I know somebody will say, "Oh, well, molesting a little girl or a little boy isn't as bad as something else." Like everybody has their own standard of how bad something is.
Mhm.
For me,
anything with a child, it should be top tier.
yes,
The worst thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
Well, but so some people they'll say no, like that's not to them. That's not the worst thing. Yeah, it's bad. It's maybe the top 5, but it's not the worst thing, right? So, hold on, I'm looking for your.
I was gonna say, what's worse than that?
I know.
Well, I had a conversation with somebody once, and I was saying that, and they're like, "Yeah, but that's your train of thought. I don't think that that's bad. Like if that happened, it happened. Like you could still live and survive." And I was like, "Oh," and I was at work talking to somebody. I was like, "Yeah, let me cut this conversation real short." Like I didn't even ask him what his was. Yeah, because I was like, "Oh Lord,
this is somebody
molesting his son." So Cain Velasquez, I think he got 5 years. It said for attempted because he was shooting at the guy for molesting his son.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was, and to be honest with you, like I've had this conversation with people before. When a little girl gets molested by a man, it's horrible. It is. I'm not taking that away from absolutely anybody. I personally feel like when a little boy gets molested by a man, it's worse. Because you've now altered his whole train of thought, his whole thinking, his whole gender role within himself.
Yeah.
So I always feel that that's worse. And I think probably as a dad, knowing that, he just probably saw red and couldn't.
Well, there was this other story, and this was just like a regular schmegular guy who that happened, and I think it was in Florida. He came home and like it was like a babysitter or something. It was like his son was like 8 or 9, and the guy babysitting him was like in his early teens, early 20s. Or late teens, early 20s, and he walked in on that guy molesting his son, and he beat the shit out of him and was going to kill him. And he said that the only reason why he didn't is because his son said, like, don't, like, because, and he's like already knew his son is traumatized. He didn't want to traumatize him anymore by doing this in front of him. And he even told him, like, this is the only reason why you're living. And that guy got like the minimal sentence that you could get for something like that, but he should have just got away scot-free.
I feel like at some point there's so many laws that protect child molesters and rapists and stuff like that. And people think it's so easy to just go to court and just to talk about it. Some people can't ever survive. They survive it physically, but mentally they've never survived it. Emotionally, they can't survive it.
Yeah.
So to go to a court and testify against that person is not that easy. So sometimes if you have an uncle or Theo, dad, a brother that has to take it in his own hands and do what he has to do, like, I don't think that they should go to jail.
No, I would hope I have people like that in my family.
And I don't think anybody was listening to the Menendez brothers because I guess they had been talking about it and the family knew about it and even the mom knew about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, it was a pretty brutal murder. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, what you were doing was pretty brutal too, right? And everything, I think the mom was so angry towards the boys because she knew it was happening. And it's not jealousy, but the dad's paying attention to them in that way and not her. So I'm like, well, you were just as guilty. Yeah. I'm like, And then one more thing before we go. Chris Brown.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, okay.
What were you going to say?
I thought you were going to say Tory Lanez because I think
we haven't talked about that one either.
Free him.
So let's do that real quick and then we'll hurry up and go back to Chris Brown. So the whole time that like Lorianne and Jackie would talk about Tory Lane this whole thing, right? And I kept thinking, oh my God, she got shot in the foot. Get over it.
That's what I say. It's just your foot. You're fine. Like, he shouldn't be in jail.
Girl, if that's your man, sometimes you make him mad and he had to shoot you. Like, just deal with it. Those are the consequences. Like,
I don't want to be shot in the foot, though.
I don't want at 51, I do not want to be shot in the foot. But at 21, if I got shot in the chest and I'm not here, that's different, right? That's the chest, you're a goner. If I would have got shot in my foot, I would have been like, when I'm all better, I'm running you over. Like, I would have taken one for the team. And now to come find out, he didn't even do it. What were you going to say?
No, this is an off-camera story, but it relates to this, and I was like, you know what? Okay, like I'll tell you that after.
Yeah, sometimes, yes, I do think he shouldn't be there. And the sad part is, so he did not do the shooting of the foot, and now he's serving time for shooting of the foot. She's out. Comes out that his bodyguard comes out and says, "I did it. I feel like crap. I can't let him go. Take me, bring him home."
Yeah.
Well, Tory Lane is in prison. Boy, you were in prison. There are rules. Mexicans to the left, blacks to the right. Like, what were you thinking? So he was checking out so everybody just got this like alert, TMZ, everything, right? Tory Lane gets stabbed 14 times. Collapsed lung, got stabbed in the chest and the head, everywhere, right? Because he's not in PC. He's out with the big boys. Yeah. Like, you got to give him, he's some kind of a G, right? So he's out there. Well, during visits, this Mexican guy had a visit. So when everybody thought that it came out he got stabbed, that it was a racial thing. Mm-hmm. Well, the Mexican guy's girl was obviously a cutie pie because he was checking her out. And the guy that did it.
Making that face.
Yeah. He's like, Mamacita, what you doing? Well, the guy is serving like a double homicide in prison for life.
Yeah, he has nothing to lose.
He don't care. He stabbed him 14 times for staring at his girl. I was like, I want to see a picture of the girl. I will eventually better see a picture of what she looks like. Because if she's some little torta lady that he's just checking out because he's been in jail for a while. I was like, because she's going to be known as the girl that got Tory Lane stabbed when he didn't even shoot somebody in the foot. So I hope and pray that as much as we're laughing, it's sad because he, like, literally, that part's not funny. I hope he comes home and he's safe, and it's really sad. But is the bodyguard now going to go to jail for it?
I would imagine so.
Or do they say he's just saying that so Tory Lanez could come out?
Like, they have to prove it, obviously, that it wasn't him, but.
And Megan Thee Stallion, like, really, you got up there and swore it was him. You're a snitch. Like, you swore it was him.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, hand on the Bible, heart on the chest, whatever it is they do in court, because I've never been to one of those trials, and swore it was him, and it wasn't.
I solemnly swear I'm up to no good.
That I'm about to lie to you right now. Yeah. So poor thing. So free Tory Lane. Okay, so back to C Breezy.
Oh, yes.
This man. Like, as much as I try to defend him, like, I just can't anymore. Like,
but you know why he gets away with all this stuff? Because he's good looking and all these girls, everyone like loves him. And like, not saying what he's doing is right. I'm just saying that helps him a lot.
It does. It does. It really does. Because he has a baby face. And he's very handsome. He is. Like, even the whole, like, the Rihanna thing, like, they're both guilty in my eyes. Neither one was no better. Yeah. They were young. They were a hot mess. She hit him. He did a whole documentary, and you should go watch it. It's really good.
I've seen it.
And
he talks about his mom. He talks about like all this
and
stuff.
She never fought it, like saying it's not true. But he said she started the domestic violence. She was hitting him from day one. Like, you watch that whole thing, and that night she started. And we know girls that do that.
Yeah.
So not that makes it okay, because it doesn't.
No.
But at the same time, sometimes you might get shot in the foot if you mess around. So now he gets arrested. He gets off the plane in the UK. Mm-hmm. Like, his people weren't ready. They didn't know. They didn't know that that was happening. Like, gets off the plane, and as soon as he steps foot down, he's arrested. No bail. He has tour dates coming up. The girls bought the tickets. I didn't buy tickets. I was going to go. Now I'm glad I didn't, because everything's postponed.
Oh.
Everything's pushed back. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And it was all over some bar fight or something. And my thing is, like, why are you guys... How much money do you have? How old are you? You should just be making money now. You have kids at this point. So
Yeah.
now your daughter because he's an amazing father, or so we think, right? It comes out that shows that he's an amazing father, has to go see your daddy in jail in the UK. Like, how is that going to be now? Like, why? But that just came out today. I was like, so that's all of our Talking Thursday. Wait, what did we call it?
Tell me
You guys can't
Thursday.
remember
Talk to me
Thursday.
Thursday. It was good when I
Talking
first said it.
Thursday.
Dang
Yeah,
it.
it was.
Tell me Thursday.
Tell me. How do you remember that?
Because it sounded good and made sense. And
We're going to have to put a sticky note up there. Tell me Thursday so we'll know. Maybe next time we won't do such brutal things. Maybe we'll do some like good stuff.
We got to throw something in there.
Well, I just know that you said people have like the sick, twisted mind of like true crime. I have podcasts in my phone. It's all true crime.
Yeah.
Like there was a story about the tattoo guy stabbed these girls and killed them, but he was, again, good looking. He kind of looked like the actor Jake Gyllenhaal. And when he went into jail, he got all these tattoos on his face. And so all these girls became a big like fan of it. And it came all over TikTok. Well, I downloaded the podcast for it. And it was like an 1.5-hour podcast. So when Seth and I were driving to Idaho, there was no service anywhere. So I just threw that on the radio and I'm just listening. And Seth starts to twitch. And then he like jumps up and I was like, what's wrong? And he's like, I felt like somebody was stabbing me. I was like, oh my God, what kind of dreams are you having? Weirdo, right?
As you're listening.
As I'm listening, we're driving. And then like 30 seconds in, 40, he goes, what are you listening to? And he goes, Mom, this is why you have nightmares. I was like, I know, but I want to know if he did it.
Gabriel used to make fun of me all the time because he said that he would come in just to like tell me good night and I would just be sound asleep, and he would be like, and they tied her up and this and that. And she was thrown in the back seat and I just would fall asleep to it. And like, it was just.
There's a whole thing, if you go Google it, of why women, more so than men, love true crime and murders and all this stuff. And I don't know why, but I can go to sleep listening to a Dateline or 50-50.
So I can't now. Now I can't. I think when I was like in my little true crime thing, because I was like obsessed, like, and this is like what I would do like at work in my headphones and everything. And then I was like, actually, this isn't probably good for me. Like I need to like switch my stuff and like be happy.
Yeah.
Now I can't. Now I get creeped out. I'm like,
Oh no, maybe that's why I'm always scared of my own shadow.
maybe.
I throw in like a Hallmark movie or a love story or, something that makes it like all, like a Disney movie. But oh no, give me a true crime and I'm good. Like I'm going. I love it. Well, thank you, Solomon, that you put up with us with our
sure.
Telling Thursday?
Tell me
Thursday. Tell me Thursday. We have Instagram, TikTok. Go on our YouTube, please. Subscribe, share, like. Our luscious drinks that we got today were on our Dream Dads. He was like, let me buy you guys some stuff for your next podcast.
Oh.
He came on. He did such a great job. I loved when I listened to it. I loved the laughs, but I loved that. I love hearing about dad stories. Dad stories are good. So thank you very much. And until next time, thanks, Lexie. Go Dodgers.
Yay.
Bye.